You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Sunday Watch, and we're reaching you live from our studio here in Ikeja, Lagos. I have an agripreneur as my first guest, and he is Abiodun Williams. He is a Gen Z, and you wonder why he chose to to be an agripreneur. Well, that certainly is where the entire world is going. Yes, because the SDG has its goal, its plan on 2030, and it's saying no to hunger. And it's also saying, agitating for, food security. So how can we achieve this? That is why we have our guest who is, well, if I qualify him to be a farmer, maybe I won't be, so charged. If I also qualify him as a teacher, because that's what he's here to do today, I will also, get a pass mark from him. But in all, he is an agripreneur. You're most welcome to the program.
Thank you so much.
All right. How is the Sunday? Happy Sunday to you.
Same to you. Same to you.
How is everyone at home?
Very well. Very well. We're
okay.
Good.
All right. Okay. We're looking at how everyone of us can, go back to the drawing board and ensure that we have food sufficiency, especially from the family. How can we achieve this? First, let's look at what farming is, just briefly. We have peasant farmers.
Yes, we
have mechanized farming.
Exactly.
And we also have those who chose that say, look, I don't even want to till the ground, but I want to be a passive farmer. There are different ways in which people today contribute into that sector of the economy. So let's look at who a farmer should be.
Yeah. So a farmer is anyone who engages in producing food, right? Raw materials basically, but producing food production particularly, right? We can call those people farmers, right? Animals, crops, what have you.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so across board. All right, so if, we've had policies, we've had programs of government at all levels in the country, gravitating towards food security. So for people who, take for instance, we have a family who are in an apartment that is not too large. How large or how big should be the expanse of land for individuals in their various families to be able to produce food that will sustain their families, at least for a takeoff?
Now in agriculture, there's what we can call innovation.
Renovation.
Innovation.
Innovation.
Yes.
Okay.
So you don't need land, as it were, to farm, because there's an alternative to soil. We call it potting soil or potting mix. So, we've seen people plant in plastics, bottled water. Yeah, bottle, as small as it is. We've seen people, cut, and, once you have potting soil in it, it is an alternative. So it has the properties of a soil, right? And it's closer to loamy soil. Loamy soil is the best soil for planting. Yeah, so it's closer. So in fact, you have more guarantee. So there is this people, organization, soilless farming. Okay. So they farm with no soil, right? And that is the idea behind greenhouse farming. So I said all that to say that you don't need land. You don't need a plot of land.
Yes.
You just need a space that you can dedicate.
Okay.
And with innovation, depending on what you can do, what you can afford, right, how you can innovate, right, you can actually farm, engage in farming. You can use your balcony, you can use the small expanse of land that you have in front of your house, behind your house, beside your house.
Can one use his or her kitchen?
Yes,
possible?
yes. You can plant in a bowl. The way you have verses and you put flowers.
Yes,
exactly.
Same
you can
way.
do that. In fact, for instance, you can have a stand of pepper in a bowl in your kitchen. Yes.
Okay.
As long as you can get direct sunlight to it,
Oh,
right?
okay.
As long as you can get sunlight to it, as long as you can control the temperature. In fact, the temperature can be controlled in the kitchen, right? So those are the variables. You want to control the temperature, you want to make sure it has direct sunlight, photosynthesis, and what have you. So as it were, it is important. You know, there are even plants that you can have in your bedroom, in your house, and what have you. So there is at the moment no setback like we used to think there are. Yes.
Okay. All right. So okay. So in real terms now, if any individual of families want to engage in what you just explained, how should they go about it? In planting corn, in planting pepper, as you said, some even at this stage will still find it pretty difficult to start, little. You said we don't really need a large expanse of space.
Yes.
All we need to do is as small as bottled water. So we should just cut the top. How about planting onions? How easy is it with this bottled water? So let's go practical.
Okay, so practically, first question, what do I have? What do I have around? What can I use? We are even in the age where you want to recycle and what have you. So what do I have? Do I have tires? Do I have bowls, verses? What do I have? So once you get that, just get a little money, get potting soil or potting mix, right? It's, like I mentioned earlier, an alternative, right? Do that. I have a little idea about when the timing, right, for farming, what you need to do and what have you. So let me take, for instance, let me take tomatoes. Okay,
also include, yes, I want you to also include the kind of food that we can easily. Yeah,
so let me take tomatoes, for instance, right? Tomatoes used to be a plant that you could easily garden, that you could have in your garden, right? Yes, it used to. In fact, it is. It's still one of those. Yes. So once you've gotten those things I said, right, one of the major things for tomatoes or vegetables like that is that you want them in a nursery, right? So there's this small containers that you have. You get the seed, you plant it, put it in it, you water it consistently daily, as it were, so it grows, it germinates. Give it 2 weeks, you should have been able to move it from that nursery into a larger space, right? The reason you have it in those small, what is it called, is to ensure that you can control the growth, you can monitor the growth, and that is the idea for the nursery, right? So you move it into a larger space, right? It begins to compete, it begins to enjoy. So if you are using a potting mix, you don't even need what you have as a nursery, just the potting soil. Right. So the potting mix you serve as a nursery and you move it into the ground. But now that you have the potting mix and that is what you want to use, you don't need to move. Right. You have it there. In about 60 days, between 60 to 120 days, right, you have harvested your tomatoes.
Seriously?
Yes, 120 days.
I have to go practical here. I actually have a personal experience. Unfortunately, the tomatoes didn't come out well. Yeah. Perhaps something went wrong.
Yes.
That I didn't do rightly.
Yes.
Okay, a colleague of mine also mentioned her inability to achieve quality result with her tomato planting. So what should people do right? Sometimes maybe the watering may be too much. It's a guesswork.
Yes. So the watering, in fact, wetting. You don't have to wet morning. You wet in the morning, right? Wet daily, but it doesn't have to be waterlogged.
Okay.
You don't want it to be waterlogged. You want the moisture to be just right, right? So once you have that for tomatoes, you also want to ensure that you pay attention to it. With these things, you can't say that it will 100%. Okay. Right, and because you probably did not study agriculture, it's bound, it's part of the experiences. So you don't stop at that time. You learn. Yes, you learn. You keep learning, right? So it didn't work out this time. You do it again, right? And one of the beauties of agriculture is that you can always start small before you go big. In fact, for every agriculture student, right, they have practical and they have trainings, right? So they trained before they can see, okay, now I'm doing it on a large scale, right? So that is training for you, right? It is not every seed that you put into the ground that germinates and becomes what you have, right? Exactly.
So
and the quality of the seed also matter. The quality of the seed matters. So, for instance, there are certain seeds, you know, you call them hybrid seeds, that once you get the, you cannot plant the seed that you get from the produce. You have to buy it. Because those seeds are cultured for optimum yield, but they are not cultured to reproduce. You understand? So if you've not bought the seed, if you take the seed from a tomato and you plant, if the tomato is an hybrid tomato, it's not going to germinate. It's not going to come out. So that's
perhaps that was my challenge. Exactly. Okay, so how do we go about, you know, becoming a farmer in your own home? You have explained now. I know a lot of people will, you know, expect results when they plant in a little way, as they see a lot of people engaging in, you know, farming, home farming these days.
Yes.
To get the hybrid seed,
yes,
how can one go about it? Do they sell it at the market, or can we also, you know, produce one ourselves? How can we go about it? And also mention some of those foods that we can easily plant. Can we easily do corn, tomatoes, you know, all those easy home food?
Yes. So I think the first question is come again, please.
The hybrid, how can we?
How can you get the hybrid seed?
Yes. How can we know the right seeds to plant?
Get? Right.
As novice now, who wants to, you know,
that would take some research on your part.
Okay.
But when I was very young, what my mom or big mom used to do is you go to the market, you get the seed, you plant, your test running, whatever happens. If it works, if it doesn't. But there are sites, there are websites or applications that attest. An example is AfriMatch, right? Veggies Concept, right?
No, that's free advert.
Oh, sorry.
So we can go to all those sites online.
Exactly, go to those sites online to check. Yes, they can give you, they can ascertain the quality of the seeds that you are getting, right? Or you can also consult an expert, an agri consultant. They can tell you where to go to get those seeds from. But the type of crops that you can plant by yourself in your homes, you can do yam, you can do cucumber, you can do pepper, you can do pepper is habanero, you can do tomatoes, you can plant apples, you can even plant oranges, right? Yes, you know, I mentioned earlier that they are hybrids, right? So there are breeds of apples now, right? And you can do, on in containers, as it were. You can even do them in containers.
How about pineapple?
Pineapples, yes, you can do pineapples. You can do pineapples. You might need maybe some 300 square meters of land for that, so that it's going to have enough space and what have you, right, to express itself. Yes. So if you have half plot of land, you can do a lot of things. You can plant plantains, bananas. So you can plant corns, except for crops that probably you need to have in plantations. There's almost nothing as far as crop production is concerned that you cannot have, you know, in terms of subsistence farming or gardening.
Okay. Now that's about direct contact with crops and growing them.
Yes.
How about being a passive farmer? What should individuals do if you want to become, you want to get engaged in this sector, yet you don't have enough time, but the resources is available for you to do so? What should people do?
You can consult agripreneurs like myself, agri-consultants, yes, like myself, right? And we'll farm for you, right? If you have a piece of land, if you don't, we can help you acquire a piece of land in a real-time farm estate, right, and your money would work for you. So one of the things that happen is that you want to farm in a community, right? You want to be and ensure that you have proper farm management, professional at that. The chances that you cannot even farm on your own exist, even if you have all the time, because you are not experienced. There's a difference between farming, subsistence or gardening, and doing it on a large scale. And one of the things we need in Nigeria now is we need a lot of people coming into agriculture. But the solution to that would be that people, can come in passively and have people farm for them, professionals at that. I mean, a lot of agricultural students are now doing customer service and what have you, whereas
which shouldn't be.
These are the job opportunities for them to engage, professional management. So that is one of the things, we provide, right? And, so you can have that. You can have that, have your money work for you, we consult for you, we farm for you, you own your land, right? You also own the produce, right? But then one of the things that might have been a challenge for people in time past is that people come out and promise ROI, return on investment. It is not stock.
Return on investment.
Agriculture is not stock.
Oh, okay.
It's not.
How is it different?
Yes, it's different in terms that number one, anything can happen. Number two, when I say anything can happen, there are quite a couple of variables to consider. Market pricing. Because of market pricing alone, and as it dwindles, inflation and whatever, you cannot say that this person is going to get 50%, 60% on their return. So promising that alone should be a real red flag. Right, it should be a red flag because it means that the people that are communicating that don't know what they're saying, or they're leveraging on other people's ignorance. Yes, so what should be important to you as a passive farmer should be that you have your land, you also have access to your produce. You can either look for the market or get distributors. There are a lot of ways to even handle that. And also there's the side of post-production or post-harvest.
Those are the major challenges.
So yes, there are a couple of challenges. So you need people that know their salt, know what they're doing, have a strategy, to take on that risk for you, right, and help you make the most of your money. Yes.
Okay. Now, as we wrap up, all right, how will you encourage family members, every member of the family, to get themselves engaged in, farming?
Yeah,
either directly
or indirectly. I had a conversation sometime with my brother who is a doctor, and he said that one of the reasons why in Nigeria at the moment we have a breed of a generation that is very susceptible to diseases is because we don't allow children to play with soil. Right, so we have moved from the era where people are playing, in dirt, and from the young age they have built immunity. Right, so one of the things, oftentimes we say that our forefathers, they don't, but our forefathers,
connected,
they were farming. They were using, they were operating. But now we don't want to. Once you see the child, no, wash your hands.
Okay, because sometimes I got your explanation clearly. Then they got themselves connected with nature.
Exactly.
And at this stage, during this generation, we are distracted from nature.
Because
and every little thing we become, we get vulnerable, to all those diseases, and we get them.
Let me call it a false sense of hygiene.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Adúpẹ́ púpọ̀ fún gbogbo atótónu tí àlejò wa tí ó ti ń ṣe ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. Mo wá ní a fẹ́ ká kàn sọ níwọ̀nba. Àwọn ọ̀nà wo ni oníkálukú ní inú ilé ni wọ́n lè gbà láti rí wípé àwọn náà ní ipa tí wọ́n ń kó láti jẹ́ kí oúnjẹ kí ó pọ̀ yàntúrú ní ṣókí?
Ní ṣókí, gbogbo alágbọ́dọ̀ ní nǹkan tá à ń ṣe. So tí ẹ bá ní ìfẹ́ sí tí a bá ní ìfẹ́ sí nǹkan ọ̀gbìn kan right àbí àwọn bíi ẹ̀fọ́ àwọn tòmátò àwọn tí ò ṣòro láti gbìn so tá a bá ní ìwọ̀nba ilẹ̀ kékeré tá a lè gbìn sí tá a dẹ̀ lè máa mójútó
ike omi
mo sọ ní Gẹ̀ẹ́sì mo sọ ike omi àwọn korobá àwọn abọ́ àwọn nǹkan kéékèèké yẹn tá a dẹ̀ lè ó ní àwọn èròjà kan náà tó dàbí yẹ̀pẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n tí ò ń ṣe yẹ̀pẹ̀ wọ́n ti ṣe àwọn kinní yẹn kí ó lè jẹ́ kí nǹkan ọ̀gbìn kó tètè dàgbà kí dídàgbà wọn kó èso wọn náà kó jáde dáadáa so àwọn nǹkan kéékèèké bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn nínú ilé a lè ṣe ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá ní ìfẹ́ sí àbí tá a bá ráyè gbogbo èèyàn náà ló máa ráyè tẹ́ bá rí sátọ̀dé láàárọ̀ kẹ́ tó jáde ẹ fomi sí tẹ́ bá dé tó bá tẹ́ bá dé ráyè láàárọ̀ tẹ́ bá dé lálẹ́ ẹ fomi sí ìmójútó kéékèèké yẹn ó máa jẹ́ kí a ní ipa at least oníkálukú á lè jẹ nǹkan ọ̀gbìn tó ṣẹ̀ jáde
tó máa ṣara lóore
tó dẹ̀ máa ṣara lóore ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá dẹ̀ wá lẹ́yìn ní àfikún a lè jẹ́ ẹni tó ń dáko ṣùgbọ́n tí ò kọwọ́ bọlẹ̀ nípa pé a máa fún àwọn tí ó ń ṣe iṣẹ́ yẹn ní ọ̀kúnkúndùn tó ń ṣe tó ń lọ́ mú bí iṣẹ́ a máa fún wọn ní owó kéékèèké tá a ní kán lè bá wa ṣe iṣẹ́ náà.
so ọ̀nà tí oníkálukú wa tí a lè gbà darapọ̀ mọ́ oúnjẹ tó yẹ kó pọ̀ yanturu ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà nìyẹn. ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ Mr. Williams fún àsìkò yín ní orí ètò yìí a máa wáyè nítorí pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa ni à ń fẹ́ ṣe gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì ẹlòmíì máa gbin nǹkan ọ̀gbìn a rí i pé kò yọ dáadáa ẹ ti ṣàlàyé àwọn ọ̀nà tí àwọn èèyàn lè fi ṣe ní kéréje láti rí wípé a rí èrè tí ó dáa tó bá ní àsìkò tí ó pẹ́ sí ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ ní ẹ̀ẹ̀kan sí. All right, that's how we'll cut this segment. I know that some other time we will invite him and there will be more time for him to really do an expose on the topic agripreneur. When we talk about this, we'll talk about the chains, of agriculture.
Yes.
We'll be able to go deep into it. Thank you so much once again for your time on the program. All right, all the very best.
And you
we
too.
wish you. Okay, we'll take another break. When we come back, you'll get to meet our beautician. We'll be back.